Alrighty everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is your host, the Notorious H.I.M, and I am back with another Wi-Fi battle, BDSP Wi-Fi battle. This is against another YouTuber. He's on his way to 5,000 subs, so I will link his channel in the description. Go over and give him a sub. Looking at this guy's team, I'm definitely afraid of the Heracross. Heracross likes to use Choice Scarf, but he's using a lot of RU threats, and I'm really not used to the RU tier. So a lot of these things kind of catch me off guard, and I should have been calcing, but I didn't. But just kind of looking at his team here, I'm thinking, okay, if I could lead off with Demona here, I could probably get some U-turn action off. So, you know, nothing that I'm seeing on his team besides probably the Heracross is going to pose much of a threat. So for me, I'm going to try leading off with Demona here, seeing what this guy wants to do. So he immediately goes out into his Rotom here. And here I'm thinking, okay, so Rotom really can't do much to Demona here, so I'm going to U-turn out. You know, try to get some chip damage off, you know, try to work my way into this match because I really don't know what to expect, you know, especially against another YouTuber. He's pretty good at battle, so, you know, I want to be very careful with what I'm doing, kind of scope out what his team likes to do here. So I immediately go for the U-turn and see how much damage I get off here. I can tell immediately he's not Choice Scarf, so, you know, looking at that damage, I'm like, okay, I could probably go out into, you know, pretty much anything would probably want to take this. Davy Jones is probably the best bet here, you know, since Davy Jones is specially defensive. So I go out into Davy Jones here just to kind of scope out to see what kind of damage this guy's gonna do. And realistically, you know, looking at that damage, he's probably Specs. You know, he's probably Choice Specs, and what I should have done was probably go immediately out into Jump Left, the Continental, the Jump Left lead. But, you know, I'm not too sure. I don't want to be too aggressive with this guy. Like, you know, while I'm having this match, my heart's beating like a mile a minute. So I'm thinking, okay, I could Ice Beam here. I could very well Ice Beam, get this guy out of the match here, and so he won't be able to Volt Switch around. And I'm thinking, you know what, you know, maybe I could even knock off, you know, nothing is going to really want to take a knockoff, you know, make something a little bit less, you know, hard to deal with later on. I could easily go for the Sludge Bomb. So, you know, there's a lot of things I could really do with Davy Jones here, the Tentacruel. But kind of looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, if he goes out, you know, I could immediately probably get like you know, a poison off on something, and I was hoping and praying that I got the poison off on this thing, because this thing is a huge threat. That does some sizable damage, so what that tells me is that he's not really specially defensive, because Davy Jones really doesn't have any, you know, special, you know, attack investment. But thinking of this, I'm like, okay, Electric Avenue probably could take this thing 1v1. Depending if he's like scarfed or not. So just kind of looking at this, you know, I know all the smoke is going to be defensive. I know that he won't be able to do much to me. He's probably going to go for U-turns just to see, you know, if he can get some pivoting off. And he does. He goes right out to the U-turn here. Thinking of this now, I'm like, okay, I have my sun up. You know, I could very well, you know, start Lava Pluming. I could Will-O-Wisp something, you know. But then his Claydol comes out, and I'm like, oh man, this could be a really big threat, because Claydols tend to be specially offensive, if anything. And, you know, all the smoke, really don't want that smoke. So I'm thinking here, you know, I probably could get my Stealth Rock off, but he's most likely going to Rapid Spin it away. So there's really not much viability in me doing that right now. The safe bet would be to just go out into you know, a different Pokemon here, or just Lava Plume for damage, just to see how much I'm gonna get off. But I'm thinking, you know what, this Stealth Rocks could very well come up, you know, later on in the match, and he goes for his own Stealth Rocks. So I think I'm gonna just return the favor, get Stealth Rocks up. If anything, he goes for a Rapid Spin, you know, gets that speed boost. But I'm really not too afraid of this boosting speed, so I decide to just go on to something else because realistically, I mean, all the smoke really can't do much from here. So I'm thinking, what's the best thing we could do here? I could pretty much be very aggressive here, try to get like some sleep powder action. I'm bringing in the jump bluff, the Continental, and he's gonna look to wipe the ass at everybody on this team. He does go for the rapid spin, so he does get that speed boost, and depending on what he's packing, that could very well be scary. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm gonna go for the sleep powder, see if I can start getting up some boosts, and seeing what this Claydol wants to do here. I mean, realistically, he really can't do much to me. I mean, he has to go out because I could very well, seed bomb here and get some damage. So if there's one thing about my opponent here is that he does play very well with the switching and he predicts things very well. So kudos to my opponent here. But this guy's falling asleep, so he's gonna not be much use to anybody here. I'm gonna immediately go for a sword dance, see what I could kind of kill off. And he goes right out into his Rotomo here. After a sword dance, really nothing is gonna really want to deal with this, especially in the sun. So I know from this range I could easily go for an acrobatic, and that's gonna pretty much, finish this thing off. And that's what I do. I go for the acrobatics just to get the damage off, and coming off of a sword dance, Continental is pretty much wiping the ass of this guy right now. So looking at things here, I just lost the sun, so I know what the speed tier is of his Swellow, and I know he's gonna outspeed without the sun, so I have to switch out here, and that's exactly what I end up doing. I end up going out here. Here's where I make a very big mistake though, because honestly, again, like I mentioned, I tested this team against UU tier, was not expecting many RU threats, and this thing is a beast, honestly. I really don't know what it can or want to do. I mean, it's guts boosted, so it's probably packing the facade. I'm thinking, you know what? I could probably do something with this. My play should have been to go out into all the smoke, but I think I end up going out into a Leviathan here, trying to get an Intimidate off, just to see if I can live it. Because if I could, one Dragon Dance is going to put me in a speed tier that's higher than everything on his team. So I'm thinking here, if I could get a Dragon Dance off, I'm going to pretty much be able to sweep this guy. But no, that facade, it gets a crit, unlucky crit, it's part of the game. And he messaged me after the game, he was like, tough with the crits. But, that's part of Pokemon. So I'm thinking, man, had that Leviathan lived, which he probably would have, I could have pretty much put myself in position to sweep here. I'm thinking, man, I really don't know. I know he can't outspeed this. So I'm like, okay, if I go out into this, I could probably, start Volt switching around. My play, I have to go for the electric move. I cannot risk, not going for the electric move just to scare him out of here. But of course, he's gonna withdraw, and he's gonna go out into his. Ooh, this is a good play. That I didn't think this was coming out. He gets the Volt Absorb, and really, there's nothing I can do here. I have to switch out, and honestly, he's probably either Choice Specs or Choice Scarf. Just trying to see what he's trying to do here. I think, honestly, Davy Jones is probably the best answer to this, because I could probably live anything that he wants to go for, and then hit back with a Sludge Bomb. So, just looking at this damage, he goes for a Wish. At this point in the game, I'm thinking, those rocks could definitely come to bite me in the butt. And let me see if I can get these up out of here. And with the speed boost, just kind of testing his speed, like, JV Jones would get up to like 354 speed once you get the speed boost up. So I would be a pretty decent threat, for anything that wants to come in, or, He goes for the Psychic here. I'm not sure if I can live it. Oh, I live it on 2. So, I could have easily fired off like a Sludge Bomb here just to get the super effective damage, hopefully get the poison. But, there's a pretty unlucky game for me here. I get the sludge bomb off, and it doesn't do as nearly as much as what I thought it was going to do. He starts wishing, and I'm like, oh boy, he's probably going to pass this. So my play, honestly, should be to just sludge bomb again. I'm trying to just go for as much damage as possible. I should just sludge bomb here just to see what I could do, get this as low as possible, because from this range, Davy Jones really can't do anything. I get the knockoff, and you know, he's lefties, so he's bulky. So, you know, that tells me that, you know, Davy Jones really wasn't going to be able to do much anyway. So there you go. I lose both Davy Jones and Leviathan. So now things are not really looking too good for me right now. Really and truly, what I probably should have done here was go out into either Cottonelle and try to, you know, get some sleep powder action off. You know, go out into all the smoke, get that sun up or something like that, you know. But I'm looking at my team and I'm like, oh man, we're not looking too good since we lost that Leviathan. Since we lost Gyarados, like, we're not really looking too good for this match here. So I'm thinking, you know what, I gotta make a play for something. If I go out into this, I know that he can go for this Shadow Ball, but of course he makes the beautiful read here, and I just want to see how much this is gonna do. It really doesn't do much. He stays in, he's bulky, so he knows he can live it. He's gonna wish, and you know, because I'm choice specs, I'm locked into the Shadow Ball, and of course, you know, he's gonna switch out here, so that'll be the smart thing for him to do. So I immediately thinking here, okay, what is this guy gonna go out into? And he brings out the the Swallow, which is normal type. So this is not gonna really do nothing. I'm on my heels here. I'm really thinking, okay, how do I come back from this? Like Green Day is at full health. He is a physical beast if I've ever seen one. I really don't know how I'm gonna kind of overcome this Swallow here. So I'm thinking all the smoke is probably the easiest play that I can go into here, just to kind of live any hit, get the sun up. From there, my hope is that I can probably bring Cottonelle in here and start, you know, acrobatics. But he goes to the facade to see how much he's gonna do. It does almost half, and I'm physically defensive, bro. Like, I'm max defense, you know, like, so for it to do that much damage, bro, like, this Swallow is a beast, bro. I can't say it enough. You know, he goes for the U-turn here, just trying to see, you know, scout out, and now he has me at half, bro. Like, I'm at his mercy in this game. So as you can see, like, the match really isn't going in my favor here, but I'm thinking of ways that I can really pull it back off. You know, this you know, Arcanine is flash fire here, so really and truly all the smoke can't touch this at all. Like, I have to switch out. And now it's like a gamble. I could very well go out into Demona here. You know, I think that probably be the best play, but now I'm thinking, you know what? Let me try to get my Stealth Rocks off just to see if I can make this damage a little bit easier later on. And of course, he gets a crit again. So 2 crits on his side, and really, like, there's really nothing I can do. Just looking at this thing here, it's like, man, like what can I really do here? Like, he has an answer and a check for everything. If I bring out Electric Ab, the Jolteon, if I go for Thunderbolt, he can easily go out into Gardevoir, get the Volt Absorb, or go out into the Claydol, you know, which will be immune to it. So I'm down half my team, and I really don't know how I'm gonna bring this back here. Like, he has a coverage and a move and a switch in for basically everything that I got left. So now I'm just thinking, okay, what's my win con? What can I do? I can come out into this and I can threaten the Earthquake, probably go for some U-turn action here. You know, honestly, what I probably should have done was just go immediately for the damage, because he stays in. Had I went for the Earthquake, this would have been a done deal. This good boy would be gone, bro. So I'm here thinking, you know, whatever I go into is probably gonna die next. And if I could find some way to bring in Cottonelle safely, get up a Swords Dance, you know, I'd be in pretty good shape. So that's what I'm thinking here. You know what? I'm gonna go out into Electric Ab just to take whatever move he's gonna go out into, see if I can get some damage off. But honestly, this game really isn't going too well for me. He immediately kills me. with the flare blitz, and at this range there's really nothing I can do. Looking at his health though, I'm like, okay, I can at least get a kill off of this guy with the Continental. Like, you know, Continental could very well come in here, get an acrobatics off, and from this range I know it would kill. So that's exactly what I end up doing. I end up going for the kill on this guy because I believe he's probably choice banded. You know, go for the flare blitz twice and just the damage on it leads me to believe that he's choice banned, but as you can see, those 2 crits ran through my team, and there's really not much I can do on this. So this battle, you know, I'm gonna call it here. It's pretty much a GG. This Swallow, I really had no answers for, so I'm just here thinking, like, what really can I do here? Like, there's really nothing that I can come up with here that's gonna be able to pretty much make a difference. And without the sun, I'm not faster than him. So he immediately takes me out, and now all I have left is the Demona, the Flygon. So I'm gonna go out into this and say, you know what, GG to my opponent. You know, he played a good game, and like I mentioned, I will, of course, link his channel down in the description. But I'm thinking, man, like, there's really nothing I can do. I could probably go for flinches, and that's pretty much what I'm gonna go for. Just kind of go for the rock slide flinches. Hopefully I can do something, but I know he hasn't even revealed the Heracross, so I know that's probably Scarf and is probably gonna be able to outspeed and kill. So you know, Flygon and this team really didn't show too much stuff this match, but if you haven't done so already, please rate, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I have another battle coming out pretty soon, but yeah, this is pretty much a GG. He's gonna live this. If he didn't get the flinch, there was no way that I was gonna kill this, and he's gonna Moonblast for the kill. But GG to my opponent. You know, good game, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.